My name is Lexi Kaili, and I'm the in-house film producer at the Sorensen Impact Center. Before we share an exciting announcement with you, I'd like to share part of my journey to becoming an entrepreneur. The day after I received my associate's degree from Salt Lake Community College, my friend asked me if I was going to transfer to the University of Utah. As a first-generation college student, I didn't think I could afford it. No one in my family had mentioned it, and I can honestly say that even as a 19-year-old with a college degree, I only thought rich kids went to universities. But that friend told me she had a mentor at the University of Utah that helped her get scholarships to attend, and I should see if he could help me too. This mentor, Mr. G, went on to help me transfer my credits, enroll in classes, and find scholarships. But the scholarships only covered part of my tuition. After a few semesters of working 3 part-time jobs just to cover the rest of tuition and living expenses, I was sleep deprived, exhausted, and had decided to drop out. I remember sitting in Mr. G's class that day with 100 other students, praying he wouldn't call on me during a topic that he knew I was well versed in. Sure enough, he called on me, and the only thing I could say was, I don't know. After class, he approached me and asked me if everything was okay. That was all it took for me to break down. I told him I was going to drop out that day. He encouraged me to see the school counselors, talk to the scholarship office, and connected me with additional campus resources. A year later, I graduated with a 4.0 and no student debt. In that time, he had connected me with additional sources of funding, helped me get multiple internships and jobs, and given me countless public speaking opportunities in front of small and large audiences. Most importantly, he changed the way I think about the entrepreneurial ecosystem. As his mentee, he gave me visibility, helped me build my network, and increased my involvement in on and off campus initiatives. As much as he tried to understand what I was experiencing as a woman of color, I still felt like an outsider in many of these circles. He encouraged me to seek out additional mentors that look like me and have had similar experiences as me. He helped me meet key people that have gone on to become close mentors throughout the incorporation and operation of my nonprofit organization, Fish for Garbage, and additional small business ventures. That connection, those relationships, and learning from people who have shared lived experiences as me has truly been invaluable.
It's stories like Lexi's that really inspired us to think about potentially some solutions that Sorensen Impact Center could help provide in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's not that Lexi didn't have the expertise to excel and succeed. It's that she lacked the social capital. She lacked the connection that she needed to really help her take her to the next level. I'm Kieran Clark with the Sorensen Impact Center, and I'm so excited to formally announce the launch of a new initiative that we have here at the center, Project Deep. Project Deep is a project that we've been developing it's probably been like over 2 years now. But really what started Project Deep was some initial research supported by JP Chase, where we were given the opportunity to provide a status update on how women and people of color in Utah were faring when it came to entrepreneurship and accessing capital for their businesses. After some of the findings that came out of that report, we were given the opportunity to actually act on some of the recommendations that we made in that report. Thanks to the generous support by the Economic Development Administration, JP Chase, and the Sorensen Impact Foundation, we are now embarking on a 2-year journey to really provide some immersive education and training for players throughout the entrepreneurial ecosystem on how they can begin supporting solutions to create greater access for entrepreneurs of all backgrounds. These classes and this immersive training will be focused on not just access to financial capital, but also access to social capital and access to technical capital. The goal of Project Deep isn't to be a silver bullet and provide all of the expertise and technical assistance and capital that entrepreneurs need to succeed. The goal of Project Deep is really to highlight and identify alternative pathways across the ecosystem of how we might be able to create more access and really break down some of those barriers that are faced by historically marginalized groups. Part of the goal of Project Deep is to create and foster this recognition of system-wide change, recognizing that at all levels, not just entrepreneurs, but also capital providers, resource providers, philanthropists, policymakers, there needs to be some level of recognition of how we can change the status quo, how we can change the status quo and provide greater opportunity for all people, including women and people of color. It's not always just about you having the best business. It's not about you having the most expertise. A lot of time it's really about who you know and what relationships you have to take your business to the next level. But we also know that those relationships aren't always accessible because people are used to working with people that look like them. That is part of what Project Deep is trying to inspire, is inspiring new direction and new opportunities to look beyond those that you normally work with. We're leveraging our phenomenal film team to create a masterclass style series where we will break down some of these kind of large topics into smaller segments and make them really accessible. All of our course instructors are real people with inspiring backgrounds that have created change in whatever pocket of the ecosystem they're operating in. And so each masterclass will be paired with a workbook to direct future learning and direct deeper learning, as well as direct to potential partners that you might be able to collaborate with. Beyond the master classes, we'll be throwing a series of convenings that are paired with each master class launch. In addition to the immersive education component of this, we are looking to release some frameworks on best practices, particularly around how we might be able to hold ourselves accountable to supporting those that have been historically marginalized, those women and people of color that haven't always been involved in both the entrepreneurship space, but also the investing space. We're excited to announce the launch of our first masterclass series featuring Kimmy Paluk, the managing director and co-founder of Beta Boom. Throughout this series, she's going to be covering all sorts of topics related to how you can best prepare your business for growth. She's going to be covering topics such as how to build your team, how to develop a culture of experimentation to set yourself up for growth. Beyond that, she'll also be covering some more technical and tactical skills such as how to measure your product market fit. We now invite you to enjoy this sneak peek preview of Kimmy's masterclass.
Hi, I'm Kimmy Paluk. I'm a founder and investor. And throughout this series, we're going to be talking about the problem that we know exists in venture capital and in the founder space, that we're not seeing enough founders of color and female founders represented. So for me, my path to becoming an investor was actually driven by this problem. What I saw was less than 1% of venture capital dollars going to founders of color, and 2.5% roughly to female founders. And so think about if you had a room of 100 founders, less than one person would be a founder of color, and less than 3 of those people would be female. Those odds alone can't be explained by just probability. They actually are counterintuitive to probability. And so there are real biases and gaps that exist in our ecosystem. But what we want to do is draw some inspiration from founders who have been able to navigate this. How have they found success? And also learn from the struggles that we've all faced. This course will provide you with the tools that you need to be successful as a founder, no matter who you are. I'm Kimmy Paluk, and this is Project Deep.
We're excited to share that this course is now live on the Project Deep website at project-deep.com. We invite you to help us share this free and on-demand resource throughout your networks. As we launch the first course of our Project Deep series, we're also asking you to help us identify future courses. Reach out to Kira Clark at kira.clark@sorensenimpact.com with any ideas or suggestions you have for course topics and individuals to feature. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter on the Project Deep website and follow us on social media for the most up-to-date information regarding future courses.